cells. Today we shall discuss about atherosclerosis and also about transportation in plants. So first we shall discuss about atherosclerosis. So atherosclerosis is a disease condition which is related with heart, and we know that heart is one of the major organ in our body, and the health of heart, if we are having a healthy heart, we will be having a healthy life, or a healthy heart is very important for a healthy life. And we know that the World Heart Day is celebrated on 29th September. So why we are celebrating World Heart Day? For spreading the awareness, for maintaining healthy habits, healthy food habits and all, for maintaining the health of our heart. So now let us move on to the topic atherosclerosis. So atherosclerosis is a disease condition which caused by the accumulation of fat in the arterial walls of our heart. So if we consume a huge amount of fat-rich food items, the fat accumulates in the arterial walls. So for example, which are the food items which include more fat content? We know that all the fast food items contain huge quantity of fat. So if we consume those food items in a huge quantity, the fat accumulates in the arterial walls of our heart. So just consider this is the blood vessel, and we know that the blood flows through the blood vessel. So if we consume food items which contains huge amount of fat, what happens is the fat accumulates just like this. So if fat accumulates like this, what happens? The diameter of the blood vessel decreases. So only this much space is there for flowing of blood. So what happens? The blood cannot flow easily through this blood vessel where the fat accumulates. And as a result, what happens is the blood tries to flow through this region, and the elasticity of the blood vessel decreases, and finally it may lead to the breakage of the blood vessel. And also there is another problem. If fat accumulates just like this, the surface of the blood vessel or the arterial walls become rough, and as a result the red blood cells, we know that the red blood cells accumulates in some regions, and if red blood cells accumulates, what happens? There will be a blockage, and the blood cannot flow if there is a blockage by the accumulation of red blood cells or a blood clot, and it may lead to heart attack. So these are the problems related with atherosclerosis. So we should make sure that we are not consuming huge quantity of fat-rich food items. So we should take care of our heart so that we can lead a healthy life. Now we shall discuss about transportation in plants. So we already studied about various methods in animals for transporting various materials like nutrients, then water, then oxygen, carbon dioxide, all these things. So our blood carries all these things to different parts of our body, and we have blood vessels for transporting our blood. So in plants, instead of blood vessels, they have vascular tissues, which we have already studied in 8th standard about vascular tissues. Which are they? Yes, xylem and phloem. So this xylem and phloem acts just like our blood vessels. We know that xylem carry water and phloem transports food in plants. And we know that animals have a heart which acts as a pump that gives a pressure for transporting blood to various parts of the body. But plants does not have such a heart which provides a pressure or a force for transporting food and water to various parts of the plant body. Then how the water which is absorbed from the root reaches the leaves? Actually we know that there is a gravitational force in our earth, and normally the water shows the tendency to move from a height to a lower region, isn't it? So if water flows just like that, then how the water which is absorbed through the roots reaches the leaves which is at the top? So this is possible with the help of some mechanisms in plants. So those mechanisms are given here: transpiration, root pressure, adhesion and cohesion. So all these mechanisms helps for transporting various materials throughout the plant body. So this methods helps in transporting water from which is absorbed through the root to the top region, to the leaves. So let us learn the details about all these mechanisms.
First, we shall learn about transpiration by doing an experiment. So, the aim of our experiment is to understand the process of transpiration. So, first we need to take two potted plants, A and B. A with leaves and B without leaves. Then cover them using transparent polythene bags. After some time, we need to examine both the bags so that we can observe water droplets are formed in the polythene bag of plant with leaves, and no water droplets are there in plant B, which is there without leaves. So, from this experiment, we understood that water is expelled from leaves due to evaporation, and this process is called transpiration.
So now we understood what is transpiration. Transpiration means the water is expelled from leaves due to evaporation through stomata. So this process is termed as transpiration. Now look at this diagram. You just consider this is a leaf. So there will be cells in the leaves. And there will be water molecules in the intercellular space. So there will be water molecules in the intercellular space. Intercellular space means the space between the cells. So just consider this is the stomata. So we know that as a result of transpiration, the water expels out through the stomata. So when the water is lost from the intercellular space of the cells of leaves, what happens is the pressure inside the cells decreases. When the water expels out from the intercellular space of leaves, it creates a less pressure in the cells. So when there is a less pressure in the cells, what happens is, to compensate this pressure difference, the water molecules from the adjacent cells. So here there will be adjacent cells. So water molecules from the adjacent cells moves into the next cell. Just like this, water from the adjacent cell moves to the next cell where there is less pressure. So let us say it once more. When the water molecules from the intercellular space expels out through stomata by the process of transpiration, what happens is it reduces the pressure inside the cells. When the water molecules from the intercellular space expels out by the process of transpiration, it reduces the pressure inside the cells. So when the pressure inside the cells decreases, in order to compensate this pressure difference, what happens is the water molecules from the adjacent cells just move like this into the nearby cells. The water molecules from the adjacent cells moves to where the pressure reduces. So when water moves just like this, when water moves from adjacent cell to the next cell just like this, it creates a transpirational pull. So this transpirational pull is developed, it's only because of transpiration. So with the help of this transpirational pull, the water can move from the root till the leaf top or till the top of the plant where to leaves. So along with this transpirational pull, cohesion and adhesion also helps in movement of water molecules. So cohesion means it is the attachment or sticking of water molecules themselves, and adhesion means the attachment of water molecules with the walls of the vessels through which it flows. And also along with transpirational pull, cohesion and adhesion, root pressure also helps in movement of water molecules. So root pressure is developed when the absorption takes place. When the absorption of water from the soil takes place, a root pressure develops, and this also helps in the movement of water to the top of the plant. Let's draw a tree. So this is a tree, and we know that here there is soil. So there will be water molecules in the soil. From soil, the root absorbs the water molecules so that the water molecules moves through soil by the process of osmosis. We already studied about osmosis. So by the process of osmosis, the water molecules can move like this. Who helps? Transpiration process helps. So transpiration takes place from leaves. And so the xylem vessels and phloem vessels just go like this. So the water molecules can move just like this, and it can reach the leaves by the process of transpirational pull, cohesion, adhesion and root pressure. Finally, we shall discuss about transportation through phloem. And we already know that the food in plants is transported through phloem. So the food in plants is transported in the form of sucrose through the sieve tubes. So in this picture you can see the sieve tubes. So the food in the form of sucrose is transported through sieve tubes. And we know that the food in plants is prepared in leaves, and from leaves it transports to different parts of plant body. Then you can see the sieve tubes are arranged one above the other. In this picture it is clear. And what about companion cells? You can see companion cells along with the sieve tubes. So this companion cells also helps in transport of food in plants. So children, I hope all of you understood what is the difference between the transportation of materials or transportation of various substances like nutrients, water, all these things in plants and in animals.